bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Welcome back. This is Comcast Newsmakers. We're at the Northwest African American Museum, the old Coleman School building in the Columbia City neighborhood of Seattle. I'm Tony Ventrella. Thanks for being with us today. We're going to talk a little bit about, I guess you could call it campaign reform or campaign public financing with Bob Ferguson from the King County Council District 1. Bob, welcome again.
Thanks for having me.
Now the door has been opened, I guess, by the state legislature. What have they done to open the door for other jurisdictions?
That's right. In this most recent session, the Washington State Legislature passed a law that allows local jurisdictions like cities or counties to enact campaign finance reform, in which they come up with a system by which people running for office can utilize public funds to run for office, but any such system would have to be approved by the voters of that jurisdiction before it's implemented.
So if at the county level, I shouldn't say if, because something's going to happen at the county level.
Well, it's possible. Myself and Dow Constantine, another member of the county council, have introduced legislation to start the process of examining different options, looking at what other states and jurisdictions do for campaign financing, and then ultimately, yes, I want to bring forward a proposal to bring this before the voters of King County.
Now, and of course, as a King County council member, as is Dow, this would it affect county-wide elections only then, right? Not statewide?
That's exactly right, that we'd be dealing just with county elections. So that could just be King County Council district races, or we could include, for example, county executive, county assessor, but county offices only for our legislation. That's right.
Now, nothing's done yet, but what is the reason behind this? So I know you're trying to level the playing field,
That's
but
right.
Explain what that means. And what percentage, for example, of incumbents normally get re-elected?
On the King County Council, it's overwhelming. It's very rare for an incumbent on the King County Council to be defeated, and I'll tell you why. Now that I'm an incumbent, I benefit from the system. I can raise large sums of money that I could only have dreamed about when I first ran for office. And it's very difficult for campaigns to compete with an incumbent who already has so many advantages if you tack on a huge money advantage as well. So one of the goals of this is to level the playing field. Another benefit is I spend less time than having to raise money, and I can spend more time going out talking to voters, and that's really important for our democracy.
Now, but this would not necessarily limit another person from raising as much money as he or she wants.
That's right. The system is generally, when you look across other jurisdictions, are generally optional. So someone can choose whether or not they want to use this system or not. That's right.
But let's take an example. Say, for example, the system is in place in King County.
Right.
I'm running for your council seat,
That's
which is not going to happen.
Don't do
by
it.
the way. No, I'm not going to. But because I don't like wearing a tie. You're able to totally made up figures here. You're able to raise
$200,000.
You raised $200,000.
That's right.
And with a bunch of signatures, I raised my $75,000. What happens? The county has to give me that money to equal what you've raised?
Each system in different states is different, but let me give you an example. What's quite common is they would say to you, Tony, you can either raise your own money privately or you can go through the public system, in which case, for example, you need 500 people to give you $5 donations. So you have to meet a certain threshold, people in your district who are interested in your campaign and support it to qualify. And let's say the amount you qualify for is $75,000 to run a competitive campaign. What many jurisdictions do, if I've raised $200,000, is they then match the difference of the 75 to the 200, so it's a perfectly level playing field, which also has the benefit of discouraging me from raising a whole bunch of money because I know you're going to get the same amount and it's a level playing field at whatever amount that is.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something, Bob. I have newfound respect for you. I liked you in the first place, but here's a guy who's basically somewhere down the road could get himself not kicked out of office, but voted out of office by enacting legislation
that's
to allow someone to do that.
When I first ran for office, my opponent raised over $200,000 and I was vastly outspent, but I did a doorbelling campaign and talked to voters. That got me in office. But the system will never change and be more equitable unless people who benefit from the system are willing to change it. So I agree it's not easy, but I just feel it's important that it's a more vibrant democracy if people are out there knocking on doors, talking to voters, and it's a level playing field because the issues that we deal with are so important. I think it's important to have a choice, and this helps that choice.
Well, I appreciate it. At least it'll get some dialogue going.
That's for sure.
Bob, thank you for being here
today. Thank you very much,
Tony.
And
great topic, very interesting. Thank you for joining us on Newsmakers. I'm Tony Ventrella. See you next time.